Former Tourism Minister Hanekom is the new interim chairperson of the board of South African Airways. The national carrier has been ailing for some years now and is currently waiting for the deal with strategic investment partner Takatso to be finalised. But of course, in the meantime, it has taken to the skies again. Pretty remarkable, given decades of mismanagement and corruption, many government bailouts, planes grounded during the pandemic, and of course, that business rescue. Now, Takatso is poised to hold 51% of the airline, with government retaining what is called a golden share, which is essentially the right to keep SAA as the national carrier. Hanekom joins me now. Mr. Hanekom, thank you so much for your time. So you're interim board chair, and you'll remain such until such time as this Takatso deal is finalised. So what is your mandate in the meantime?
Hi, Sally, and thank you. Yes, chair of what is described as an interim board. And as you said, it will continue functioning until the deal is concluded, and then of course a new board will be appointed. So in the meantime, we continue building a strong airline, and bit by bit continue performing all of the functions and meeting all of the requirements of the PFMA. And in particular, we have a mandate from the executive authority. We have to carry out that mandate. But I think the important thing is that we don't know exactly when the Takatso deal will be concluded or finalized. But we can't just sit still and wait for it to be finalized. We have to do all the things that are necessary for an airline to grow and to get this airline SAA back to profitability, sustainability, and to regain the respect that people have always had for SAA, well, had in the past, I should say. Obviously, it's gone through quite a long period of difficult times.
Absolutely.
But it comes with a very good reputation, and our job is to get the process going. By the way, we are also building on the work that the former board did. So there is a corporate plan that has a sort of a vision and a plan for the next 5 years. And ours is to implement the plan and to make sure that all of the requirements of the PFMA, it's our job to make sure that everything is correct and that the plans are realized.
Yeah. Why is that Takatso deal taking so long? I spoke to Takatso, I think, in January this year, and it was sitting with the Competition Commission at that point. Do you know where it is at the moment and how close it is to finalisation?
No, that part of it I can't answer, because the deal was arranged between the shareholder, Minister Gordon, and Takatso, and it's a reality. And even in our corporate plan, there's some concern, because it makes it quite difficult to plan when you don't know quite what Takatso's plans are. But meanwhile, we are running a national carrier, we are running a business, and we have to continue. So I don't know, but the minister seems confident that it will happen in the next few months. One way or the other, we will continue running the ship until such time as it happens, and not just ensure compliance. We'll do more than that.
And I want to get to some of the sort of mechanics of keeping the airline going, because it is in the skies again. But do you believe that the Takatso deal is a fair one for SAA? Have you read it? Are you familiar with it?
That is the one thing, maybe following up on what I've just said. I don't really want to comment on the Takatso deal. The board, not even the previous board, nor the management, nor myself, none of us were party to that deal. We just simply have to take that as a given. And, and I have a high level of confidence in the Minister of Public Enterprises.
Sure.
And I therefore believe, I have confidence that it was a well-considered arrangement, given that it was a very, very difficult time, by the way, Sally. It came, during business rescue, followed, in March of 2020 by a COVID-19 pandemic.
I got you. Are you saying to me, Mr. Hanekom, sorry to jump in, I know, and we know how tough it's been.
Go ahead.
But have you actually read the deal? Have you looked at the deal?
No, it's not been made available to us.
Okay, so I got you.
I know you're pushing this. I don't think it's that important that we see the deal. what is very important for us is to know that there is a deal.
I hear you, but the reason I'm raising it, sorry to jump in, but this is the thing I want to get a comment from you. And this is a story that's been in News 24. It's the suspended Public Enterprises DG, Takatso. He alleges there was a deliberate undervaluing of SAA assets to the tune of 7 billion rand. So surely this is something the new board at least wants to look at. Otherwise, what's the point of you?
Yeah, okay, so that's different. Then you're asking me specifically about what needs to be done at this point. And firstly, it is absolutely nonsense that there was any deliberate undervaluing of the assets. What is true is that it's quite a long time since the assets have been properly valued. And what is also true, although the final results are not yet out, that the executive management of SAA appointed a body to conduct, a professional body to conduct a full evaluation of all of the assets. At this stage, the domestic assets have been valued, and it is true, even at this stage, it's quite clear that the valuation as conducted now puts the value of the assets, at a higher level than they were.
Can you give me the numbers?
On the balance sheet originally. No, I can't give you the numbers because it hasn't been made public, and nor have the numbers been specific.
I won't tell anyone.
Nice one. But in fact, we were briefed. We had our first substantial board meeting yesterday. We were briefed by the CEO, and we were told about the evaluation. So we're waiting for documentation as the board. Very enthusiastic and energetic board. Very committed.
So why would...
And we will do...
I hear you. Sorry to interrupt. I'm just being squeezed from time.
No?
Why would it have been undervalued? Why was it undervalued? Because that seems to back up what the former DG is saying. Was it deliberate?
Not at all. Firstly, he does not know. I don't think he does not know what the current valuation is, firstly. Secondly, his suspension had absolutely nothing to do with SAA. I think what you have somebody now who's, sort of speaking on all sorts of things and distorting a number of matters. And I have nothing personal, no personal gripes with the former DG or the suspended DG. But it would be normal that a valuation, if the last valuation had been done some time ago,
sure,
that the valuation done today would yield different results.
Okay.
It would be normal.
Okay, fair point. SAA was back in the skies, I think, since September last year. We've heard that they might not have enough money to continue. What's the current situation? Are you confident that SAA can stay in the skies until that Takatso deal comes through, whenever it might be?
Very, very confident, and I'm actually quite sure of it. So, again, there's a process dealing with financial reports. The financial year ending 31st of March 2023, not yet made public, of course not, because it has to go through processes, but the indications are that for that financial year there's a modest profit. Not a huge one, but
that's great.
It's now a profitable.
What a little fighter SAA is. But it makes me ask, does SAA need the Takatso deal then? If it's up in the skies, it's actually valued more than it was at the time. Do they need the deal?
It's not. Firstly, it's not the question that we entertain as a board. At the time, I think. Okay,
isn't it? It's a logical question. But it's not signed yet.
We're dealing with a given.
Okay, so you're saying legally you couldn't get out of it even if you wanted to?
If you give me time, I'll even answer your question.
All right, then.
Sally. So I'm saying it is not something that we've been asked to entertain as a board. But it's quite clear that at the time of entering the arrangement, it was necessary. And also in the corporate plan, which the former the outgoing board did, and it's a corporate plan that extends over a 5-year period, not the normal required 3-year period. They say in the corporate plan that it is a problem, it is a challenge that the SAA doesn't know what Takatso's plans are. But so it builds into the corporate plan the undertaking that Takatso made of 3 billion rand capital injection over a 3-year period. But having said that, we're confident if for any reason it should go wrong, and if for any reason it cannot be concluded, we are quite confident that SAA will continue with or without the deal, but the deal has been made.
I hear
and
you.
At the time, it was a sensible thing to do.
And okay, I got you. I've got to ask you about the debt issue. Takatso's always said that they will not take on SAA debt. We know that that 3 billion will be for operating costs when the deal happens. I understand that the debt is now down to about 2.5 billion. Is government going to be giving SAA that 2.5 billion to clear their debt?
So also good news that the debt was brought down to 2.5 billion, and 1 billion rand has been made available from Treasury. So, you know, it's the undertaking from government side, not from SAA side or from the board or from the executive management, is that we're at such time when Takatso takes its 51% shareholding, they won't take responsibility for any of the historical debt. So that is a firm undertaking. The SAA, as it stands now, there's one more payment due, and it will be able to do that final payment in August. So there is no crisis there whatsoever. So I think there we can just, you know, be a little bit relaxed. That is not going to be one of the obstacles to, you know, moving ahead with the building an airline. I think what we do not know at this stage is whether Takatso has been able to raise the 3 billion rand that it has undertaken to raise.
All right. Well, thank you so much for speaking to us this evening. I do appreciate it, and good luck. Derek Hanekom is the interim chairperson of the SAA board. He says he's really confident SAA can stay flying until that deal comes through, and he believes it was the best deal made at the time, but of course doesn't know the details of that deal. He's also hopeful and has been told that that deal should be finalised in the next few